somebody talking to you. You're like,
the referee,
oh my God, I'm not alone.
every time he drops the puck, he actually yells his face off, which is kind of like, whoa.
It's actually kind of a cool experience. It's one of the few games that actually has voices in it.
Few leaps on the Nintendo, and it actually was like was it Jack Nicklaus Golf where you get the swoosh, nice shot.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, whoa, we're getting voices now.
Yeah.
So moving on, this one a lot of people are gonna loathe this game.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
What more? Like, just what more can we say?
You just say that name,
Ninjas.
and people are just like, "Fuck, this game is hard." Like, this is Contra hard.
First one. I don't know if, to be honest, I don't know if Japan had kept any from us. I don't think they did, but this game is on the Contra level. Like, it is just an unrelenting game.
Super hard. I think, and the thing about Contra is it starts hard right away, pretty much, and you can sort of figure out the patterns of enemies.
This game has this one 2 levels of easy, and then it's just hard.
It just pummels the shit out of you with hard, and it is, oh my God, is it hard? There's a bunch of different mechanics, though. You can grapple onto walls, sort of go back and forth to get up to higher points. Because I remember,
you just backed yourself into a corner.
I'm remembering like how hard it was just to like be able to do that, dodge enemies, kill enemies, try to jump over chasms so you don't fall into them. Whilst you're jumping, making sure that the next landing point is clear so that there's nothing flying at you. It's just like you've got to be so
one of those
aware.
Generic Nintendo games where when you get hit, your character takes that like arbitrary shuffles back, and that little stumble is what will kill you 9 times out of 10.
Well, basically, what you have to stand on in this game is no wider than the tip of a pen. So if you're moving back at all, you're just falling into the ground, and you're gonna die. And it's super hard. I never beat this game. I've never ever beat this game. Yeah. I got to level 4 or 5, which is like the last of the Act 4, and I can never beat. I get right to the boss. There's this huge jump, and there's an eagle. Fucking eagles that always piss you off. They swoop down out of nowhere.
As the game goes forward, it triggers when you get to certain sections on the map. It triggers the next enemy that comes in, and you get these little eagles. And I don't know if it's always an eagle. I think it is, but
it's some sort of bird.
Some
anyway.
flying creature that it'll fly back and forth across the screen, hitting you. And like, it doesn't matter if you jump, it will actually correct itself to come and get you specifically.
The only way to get it out of there is to fucking kill it.
Yeah. The worst part is if you go back, as it's coming, you run back, maybe just get, a good distance, kill it. When you go forward, you'll hit that spot again and trigger another one.
Yeah, or if you get knocked back, so you take damage and you're like, okay, he's gone. Oh, no, he's right back.
Yeah,
and that'll
run
keep
forward and
happening.
Be, the one that hits you and a second one. Like, this game, you really have to kind of master going through the game in one swift kind of perfectly timed motion just to get across, so that way you don't get hit by anything stupid.
Now that you say it, it reminds me, have you ever played Forza Motorsport 2? Well, basically any driving game now on next generation consoles has sort of a what's called a suggested line through the track where it has little green arrows, and then it'll get red as you have to slow down. Basically, that's the line in Ninja Gaiden. If there was a line on the screen, there's all this area where you cannot get hurt, but you have to be on that to the pixel, and if you are off, you're dead or getting really hurt. So I mean, it's a really challenging game. It actually has some of the best cutscenes I've ever seen on an NES.
Yeah, it starts off with actually a really cool ninja duel at midnight.
Yeah, 2
ninjas staring off. If you have a computer, and you can easily find this cutscene on YouTube
anywhere.
Definitely check it out. Just check that scene out. 2 ninjas, essentially the camera pans and then switches to the 2 ninjas, and then it shows clips of their feet running through the field, and then it goes this long off shot of them jumping, each with the blade in the air, and then you get the sound of 2 blades clashing together, and then they it goes up, they slow down, you get the cling, and then they fall to the other side, and then one of the ninjas in the distance just stumbles over, and you're like, oh.
I think, and I'm not 100% on this, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's definitely either the first or one of the very first games to ever have full motion cutscenes like that. And
every mission is actually broken up by a small cutscene.
Yeah.
So the game actually does have quite a story to it. It's not.
It's not one that you want to click through. I mean, after you've beaten it, if you've ever beaten it, I don't know if there's any something.
Cutscene, you don't need to see it.
If there's somebody who's beat this game, type a comment into YouTube and let us know, because you are a god. I will basically shake your hand, because I could never beat this game. But it's not a story that you want to click through, because there's a lot of substance here, and there's a bunch of cool. There's some really lame characters.
An NES action game with the amount of story that this game has, to really say, like, it would have more story than, like, Super Mario Brothers 3, because Super Mario Brothers 3, if you really think about it, doesn't have much story to it.
Save the princess. Princess is another castle. Save her again. Another castle.
Yeah. By the way, Mario's, like, the biggest whipped. Like, he is pussy whipped.
Oh, yeah, he's so pussy whipped, and he never gets any.
But, like, it's got quite a bit of story. It's not nowhere near RPG level story, but it's, for a side-scrolling action hack-and-slash kind of game, it has some bitchin' story.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that could probably be adapted to a movie if there was a little bit longer of a game to it.
Yeah.
And,
which, I guess it's not surprising that the game has lasted this long, as it, like, with the amount of story that it had and the difficulty and the replayability in it, they had just hit that perfect setup. Everybody loved it. Tecmo.
I think my favorite part of the game is getting that power-up that puts like sort of a, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like a doppelganger of you on the screen. So you're both running across, and every time you slash, he also slashes. So you're both attacking enemies. You don't remember that one?
No, I don't remember. The ones I remember, like the small ninja stars.
Yeah.
The ninja star you throw, and like you pick up many power-ups that are like up B activated.
Yeah.
And you have a little set, a number essentially.
That one on the, like, the ball and chain one that you were talking about is actually like a super good
Well,
one.
there's just one that's like a ninja star that's like. There's one that's really cool. It's like a weird fire tornado that launches up at an angle towards you. Or away from you, sorry.
Yeah.
It's actually, like, there's a lot of little power-ups you can get that really change.
Yeah, the only one you
Gameplay.
really, really want, though, is that one that gives you an extra life, and it's the hardest fucking one to find. You maybe find one every, like, maybe once an act, if you're lucky. But I rarely find them. I'm usually finding the ones that, like, turn your sword into fire, or that dash one that's pretty cool, too, but...
There's just, like, those power-ups actually literally change your game. Like, they change how you go through the game, and sometimes you actually get dependencies on certain ones.
Yeah, you're like,
make
oh,
it
I
through
want that
certain
one.
scenes. Like, if you're on a lower ledge and an enemy's on a higher ledge, and he's one of those stupid enemies that just keeps chucking some arbitrary item that goes up and comes down, it's obviously gonna
almost impossible for you to get in there.
It's going to make it difficult to jump, slash, and land on the ledge unless you're one of those great players.
Jump, slash, land on the ledge, slash, kill him before he knocks your ass off of it.
Or you can get that weird fire tornado thing, launch it up, because it launches at like a 45-degree angle and spreads out, and it kills him and destroys any of his projectiles, and it opens up the path for you to hop up.
You just got to make sure that you don't walk back and reset that screen again, because then you just piss that power-up away.
Yeah.
It's...
Because that power-up takes like a good 10 points out of your little pool there, and that pool is really hard to grow.
It's a good game. It's a very good game. It pisses me off, though. God damn.
You definitely have to try it out.
It's on the Virtual Console.
Yep.
So is Ninja Gaiden 2. It was followed by a couple of really good sequels that are basically the same thing, just fucking harder and with better graphics and power-ups.
Yeah.
500 points apiece.
We paid like $10 maybe for it.
Yeah.
So
it was a good value.
Really, if you can find it, definitely pick it up. You can also try it on ROMs, obviously.
Yeah.
But moving on, we've got this great game. It's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This game is just wow.
I'm going to assume that at least half the people watching know what this game is.
So 5 of you.
Yeah, about 5, maybe 4 of you know what this game is, and you're probably the ones who like it. Anybody who doesn't know who this game is
doesn't know much about it, but anyone who does know, they know a lot because they've played it.
Yeah, it's such an addictive game.
Very underappreciated too.
Get out of your cat.
It's a very underappreciated game. It's actually developed by LucasArts and published by Konami, which is kind of a rare. Like you never saw that happen too much, but it's great. It's kind of an arcade game, and I believe it was in the arcade as well.
I would hope so, because this is some of the best 2-player action you can find on the console.
Yeah.
Basically, it's as addictive, if not more, when you're playing 2 players, because
it is difficult as hell, though.
Yeah, it
it's
really
one of those
is.
games where both players have to stay on the same screen.
Yeah.
So unless you really coordinate where you're going, both players are going to split off and try and do that. Like, I want to go this way, I want to go this way, but they can't because the screen is, essentially barring their access.
Yeah. It's challenging. It's not impossible.
But it is definitely.
But it's very hard. I've never beaten the game. You know what? The thing is, like, I can beat so many next-gen games like nothing, right?
Next-gen games were easy. Back then, in the 8-bit, 16-bit era, all they had to go on was gameplay.
Yeah.
They didn't have graphics to do it.
No.
So they relied on story and gameplay to keep people coming back and keep people playing their games. And that's how it works. Today,
Today, like, I can beat Fallout 3 on very hard mode in, like, under 10 hours. Yeah. No problem.
Everyone buys games pretty much based on the looks.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a good-looking game,
that's true. I've bought in a lot of games that are like, man, that game looks great. I'm going to buy it. I know nothing about it.
Like, the game looks good, as in, all the parts of the game,
Just
you know,
it,
the sum of its
graphically.
parts come together, and you're like, wow, that game looks good. Graphically, it looks good,
Yeah,
so
it's
we're
just
going to buy
pretty.
it. That's what they try and sell games on now. It's like Bioshock. I don't know how many
It was a
people
great
are
game.
like,
Bioshock was a fantastic
Bioshock was
game.
a great game, but I don't know, like, I can't number how many people I knew who were like,
I
I'm
was
going to
one
buy
of them.
this game, when all they saw was that first trailer with
Yeah.
the man trying to grab the little sister.
The reason I bought that game was because I had seen the friggin' big rivet gun or whatever come through that dude's chest,
drill.
and then I was like, man, that trailer looks cool, but I don't know what the game's about, but I'm still gonna drop $60 on it.
Yeah.